Hello out there, everyone. I'm going to take a look at this latest Arrow Video 4K Blu-ray release of the Chronicles of Riddick, starring Vin Diesel and written and directed by David Twohy. And of course, this is the sequel to Pitch Black, which I believe that film came out in 2000, and this film was released 4 years later. And what's interesting about this sort of franchise, I suspect, because of course, there was a third installment, just Riddick, and then now I believe they're filming part 4, which is Furia. I really do think it illustrates just what a great storyteller David Twohy is. I'm a big fan of his work. I think his screenwriting is top shelf, and certainly he showed some remarkable talent, I think, in the first film, which is still my favorite. But I love the ambition of Chronicles of Riddick, and I think while it doesn't completely work for me, it's still an interesting universe that he created, and I like some of the aspects of the film quite a lot. And it opened up, I think, a world that really didn't quite exist from Pitch Black, which was more of a sort of kind of low-budget independent science fiction film. Despite it looking quite good thanks to David Egby's wonderful cinematography in Pitch Black. This film was a much bigger budget, I think $100 million thereabouts, and it definitely looks good. It sounds great, and I think that there's some fantastic set pieces in this film, including a wonderful sequence on this planet, Crematoria. So on balance, I really like the Chronicles of Riddick, but again, I think Pitch Black is just a little lightning in a bottle piece of science fiction. Now, of course, Riddick, the third film, I thought was an interesting sort of mixture of the two and was enjoyable, but I was actually wanting more of the world that they created in Chronicles of Riddick, despite the fact that the second film didn't entirely work for me. I still give it a solid B in terms of its overall impact, maybe a B minus, but I think in terms of ambition, certainly an A, and it's a very entertaining film. Now, of course, this Arrow Video release basically is just stacked with just all kinds of wonderful special features, including several new interviews and a nearly feature-length documentary. So, Arrow just always does a great job, and this is certainly no exception. This is the slipcase, which is quite lovely to look at, and then, of course, if you want to pause it and zoom in to see all of the content, but it's a really nice release by Arrow, and illustrates just how I think competent they are in terms of boutique Blu-ray product. I mean, I think that they're definitely doing some incredible work. And this is a film that wasn't an entirely, it was a little bit of a flop in terms of its budget and what it ultimately grossed. I think it did gross its budget back worldwide, but it was definitely not the success that I think Universal Studios was hoping for. Having said that, it's garnered quite a cult following, and clearly there's been demand for more storytelling within the Riddick universe. That's why the third film was made, and there's a video game and I believe some other sort of interstitial entries that were of an anime variety. This is the booklet that comes with. Of course, it has a great cast. We've got Carl Urban, right now tearing it up on The Boys as Billy Butcher. Tandy Newton, just absolutely beautiful and extremely talented actress. Of course, Vin Diesel. Again, I think this is a really interesting film that doesn't entirely work, Madame Judi Dench, but is still a very interesting and entertaining film. I just think that they might have bitten off more than they could chew. But having said all that, I think that there's enough in here, especially how it sets up the third film, to absolutely warrant this sort of special edition release. This release has the theatrical cut and the director's cut on 4K. believe it was sourced from original camera negative, but I think some of the additional features or scenes rather that were put back in for the director's cut were a little hinky. I don't think they had the same original camera negative quality to work from. So here's just another art card of some kind. And then if you've got the theatrical cut here on disc 1, including that new documentary and an interview with Keith David and one of the production folks. Disc 2 rather is the director's cut, and then finally disc 3 is the limited edition exclusive, which, what the hell does that even mean? It is the 4K Ultra HD presentation of the theatrical cut in the alternate aspect ratio. Escape from Butcher Bay, a compilation of cut scenes from the acclaimed tie-in video game. The Lowdown, a television special produced to promote the film's original release. So again, I mean, if you're a fan of this film, this is going to have pretty much everything all in one, you know, well, actually 3 discs, but in one package. So definitely recommend it. And, you know, like I said, despite the film not entirely working, I think it's a fascinating piece of science fiction, and I am very interested to see what Toohey is going to come up with next with the new film that they're apparently producing right now, Furia. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Stay safe, be kind, and by all means, keep watching good cinema.